Hi, this is Kirk from Ivy Studio. I'm going to show you the pledge manager for Fractured Sky Awakening. On the screen here, you'll see a backer who has $89 they paid on Kickstarter. If this backer is in the United States, they'd pick a state that they're going to have this shipped to, and it will show them everything they already purchased. They purchased the Awakening Deluxe expansion, which cost $69, and they paid $20 extra for Soar. If they wanted a different reward, they could press select or change reward, and you could see you could take Awakening Deluxe, Awakening Super Deluxe, the Deluxe bundle, which is the base game and the expansion, or the Super Deluxe bundle. Alternatively, if you decided you actually didn't want any of those, you could downgrade. Let's say I want to keep this reward. This outlines the different shipping options and cost. Of note, SOAR and the matching wood tokens are offered at multiple shipping options. If you live in the United States, you could get Gen Con pickup for free. Otherwise, everywhere in the world, you can have them shipped earlier for the add-on shipping price in your region, or you can have them shipped for no additional cost alongside your Fractured Sky items when those ship. Black buttons typically go forward or add things to your cart. White buttons typically go backwards. You'll note here there's two different options for SOAR. If in the US, you'll see this is the primary option that ships with Fractured Sky, or you could pay early to have it shipped in August or pick it up at Gen Con. Note, this would trigger an additional shipping fee at the checkout screen. The same is true of the SOAR wood tokens. There's two options. And then everything else down below for Fractured Sky items. Everything you've already paid for shows in cart here. You could change your reward or remove your add-ons. The next page has some items that are limited in quantity. Some of these might not be reprinted ever or very soon, and some bundle savings. For example, the wood boards from Veiled Fate. We printed a few extra after fulfilling the latest batch, and we have those. They're very expensive to produce. And then the metal upgrade kit for Scales of Fate is now available for the first time in the Pledge Manager. It's a Kickstarter exclusive item. As you scroll down, you'll note some savings if you were to bundle different items together. There's also a reprint of 10 coming this summer. You can pre-order those items, specifically the game. And depending on your region, there's a handful of 10 Deluxe or Super Deluxe. I don't mean to get your hopes up, just letting you know that in some regions, there might be a handful left to purchase of those. They are Kickstarter exclusive. They would not be reproduced until a future 10 campaign. Then the Ivy Vault has all the other products we're offering in the Pledge Manager. If you were to scroll for a long time, you might decide there's a lot going on there. So if you don't feel bad if you don't want to press show more, but if you'd like to take a scroll, feel free. If you're on a desktop computer, you could press Control N to jump to the bottom, or use your scroll wheel on the side to skip all the way down. Then you can press Review Cart. If you wanted to remove your add-ons, you could do so here. If you wanted to remove your core reward, though, you would have to go back to the beginning and change your reward altogether. So if I refresh the screen when I've hit this last page, I have the opportunity to skip back to checkout, but this is where I could then change my reward, which would get rid of this if I wanted something different. Once you've already hit that last page of review, anytime you refresh or on the Ivy Studio website, you'll see a banner on the top that allows you to click back into your Pledge Manager order, and then you can skip directly to checkout. That's not my real address. Several people at the studio went to Cedarville University, so I picked a random address there. You'll see on the side here, your tax is added in the form of pennies as the unit. So you're buying one copy of SOAR, one copy of the Awakening Deluxe expansion, which comes with the free player screens, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. It's added for free. And your pin if you backed early. Otherwise, it would be available to purchase separately. So there's $5.12 of sales tax for Ohio that's owed on these items. So it's 512 pennies that's owed, in case you're curious. And then there's the $13 shipping. It tells when it is going to be shipped. If instead I wanted to have this SOAR shipped earlier, I would expect another charge, which is $8 for the US. And then you'll note it changes the shipping charge to show both of those and breaks out which items are shipping when. There would be VAT in different European Union regions, United Kingdom, and different states show different amounts of tax depending on what's required there. If you were a new backer and you'd never backed before, it looks fairly similar. Let's say I'm in Finland. I would instead first see the reward option. Let's say I didn't want anything in particular, then it would show nothing, which would be normal in that case. You proceed forward, see the helpful information, and then you get to all the rest of the information. Hope that helps.